Welcome everyone to the Moisky News for January 6th, 2020. And boy do we have a story for you. This one is intriguing and also ish political. It involves a politician, but it means revisiting something we have talked about before. So as it is the most popular subject on this channel, video-wise, although it was split into two, me moaning about the media but predominantly focusing on the son of Diane Abbot, I think we should revisit that topic, the one about Diane Abbot's son, not the media bias nonsense, because we'll get to that some other time, I'm sure, as there have been some developments concerning James Abbott Thompson. What was initially one, maybe two charges has become 11. And I'm sure many of you are now wondering how that many charges have come up. Well, as it turns out, when people are afraid of somebody, of influence, for example, his mother, people stay silent. And understandably so. It has been shown over the years. We can go back as far as Jimmy Savile as a BBC Kids TV presenter. People are afraid of power, or those who have perceived power. So people didn't come forward. Or if they had come forward, they were silenced. Or, and this is also likely, the charges were considered inconsequential at the time, but now they've added up to something much larger. So James Abbott Thompson appeared at Thames Magistrates Court, charged with 11 offences. And I'm going to go through each one quickly so you can understand the severity of the charges placed at the feet of James Abbott Thompson. They would include assaulting a person causing them actual bodily harm in August of 2019 at the Royal Free Hospital, assault by beating a day later at the Mile End Hospital, where he is alleged to have assaulted a doctor, assaulted an emergency service worker in July of 2019 at the Homerton Hospital, and that was a police officer. Assault by beating of emergency service worker, another police officer, on Middleton Road on the same day as the one at Homerton Hospital. Assault a person, caused them actual bodily harm on the same day within the London Borough of Hackney, his mother's constituency. Exposure in October 2019 at Homerton Hospital. One can surmise he went to x-ray something that shouldn't be x-rayed. Assault by beating of emergency service worker, this time a nurse at Homerton Hospital again in November 2019. Racially, religiously aggravated criminal damage at the Homerton Hospital, November 2019, on the same day as the previous charge, where he destroyed prescription spectacles. Assault by beating of emergency service worker, a day later at the same hospital, a police officer. August 2019, assault by beating at the Royal Free Hospital. And finally, assault by beating of an emergency service worker, where he is alleged to have assaulted a social therapist in December 2019, called Bevan Ward, at Homerton Hospital. Oops. I'm starting to think that Judge Moist might be required for this. He has pled not guilty, and somewhat understandably his mother was not in attendance at this particular hearing. I just want to quickly touch on the kind of career he had, and go back to his education first. His mother understood that if he went to a local comprehensive in an area of the country where gangs were on the rise, that there was a chance, him being an only child and her being a single parent, that he would end up falling into a life of crime and gang-related crime. So while chastising the existence of private schools, in fact standing on a manifesto at the last election where she would abolish it, take out that ladder and everything, she sent her son to a private school to give him the very best opportunity to get ahead. And he excelled. He had what many considered a meteoric rise in the Foreign Office, and was celebrated for his work as the first secretary for leaving the EU, while writing and working alongside ambassadors in Rome to protect the rights of UK citizens in Italia post-Brexit. The most important questions of this are, where did it all go wrong? Well, based on these charges, where it all went wrong was he never learnt to control his temper, allegedly, and that he is quick to resort to violence, which I find ironic for a guy who works in diplomacy. Resorting to aggressive negotiations when things don't go his way seems like a really poor tactic. As this is fully yet to unfold, I will have to make a third and final video on this, when his sentence, if at all, happens. If he is found guilty or not guilty, we should certainly discuss it. I'm sure many of these charges will be thrown out. There is no doubt of that. And if his mother cares, which I'm sure she does, she will use a rather expensive lawyer, claim expenses for it of course, to make sure that he doesn't go to prison, which I doubt he'll get, even if he has been accused of assaulting a police officer on, 3 times. That's quite impressive. With this case, I'm very much interested to know what you think, and whether you think any kind of parliamentary privilege could play a part in negating the damage done to him and his future. So please let me know in the comments below. I know this isn't the most political video, but it does raise a number of questions when it comes to politicians and their family. This could have been a whole lot worse for Diane Abbot had she won the general election. Imagine that, a cabinet officer with a son in court, especially when their mother could have been the Home Secretary, which would be quite, conflicty of interesty.